At the end of every year, we like to look back over the games released and decide what is the game of the year. Now, because this is my first year ever having a podcast or anything like this, I figure what would be kind of fun, besides talking about what my personal game of the year is this year, why don't we go back 10 years and look at past Game Award winners for Game of the Year and decide if we agree, if we disagree, what do we think? Let's take a look at it. We're just going to go back 10 years and we're going to use the Game Awards as the metric because that seems to be what everybody watches these days. All right. So let's start off. We'll start in 2015, and I'll just start off also, just kind of saying here. These are my personal favorites. These are the games that I think were the best of the year. I know that you may feel differently, but I'm sorry. We'll just go through this. We'll talk about what we like, what we dislike. Now, some of these I'll agree with, and some of these I'll disagree with. Let's see if you can guess which ones I'm going to agree with ahead of time. And I'll give you a clue. They're not going to all be Nintendo. I'm not just going to be, bootlicking for them all the time. But anyway, let's start off with 2015. The winner was The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. So, this is a game I have started off and on all the time. I have picked this game up, I've played it for a little while, I put it down, I forget about it, I move on. I just cannot get into this game. I don't know what it is about it. I guess, is it the world or the characters? I don't know, but it's just not interesting to me. I just don't really care. The one that I think should have won in 2015 is Bloodborne. Bloodborne is probably Sony's most requested IP for a reason. This game is beloved by everybody that has tried to play it. Bloodborne actually was the very first game that got me into the Soulsborne genre. I had never heard of FromSoft. I had never seen those games. A few of my friends talked about Dark Souls, but I just kind of ignored it. I was like, yeah, whatever, move on. But this one was the first time I was ever, hey, I'm going to give this a shot. And at the time, it was like $20 at GameStop. So I just went there, bought it, picked it up, and tried it out, and fell in love with it. And I've played every game since. I absolutely love the aesthetic of Bloodborne. The art style is beautiful. The enemies are grotesque yet fascinating. It is a beautiful game. I'm dying for a remaster on PS5 or Steam. Please give it to us on Steam, PlayStation. Come on now, let's get this thing. But anyway, I think for 2015, the obvious winner, in my opinion, was Bloodborne. Looking at 2016, the winner was Overwatch. I'm not surprised that won. I get it. Overwatch has a huge fan base. People love Blizzard, and this was before the whole Blizzard controversy and scandal and all of that stuff. So I get it. I can see it. I played a little bit of Overwatch when it came out. I was enjoying it too myself. But the game that stole the show for me in 2016 was Doom, the remake. That game was fantastic. That thing grabbed a hold of my face and slammed it into a brick wall. It was so violent and disgusting and fast-paced and it was an adrenaline rush. I absolutely adored this title, and I still go back and I play it to this day. Actually, when I got my Steam Deck 2 years ago, I was downloading some of my old games that I collected on Steam. This was one of them. I was like, I'll download that on a whim. I may play a couple of levels of it. Before I knew it, I had ran through the whole game, and I was trying to complete it and get all the collectibles and unlockables and everything like that. The game is so much fun. Even to this day, it's the best of the Doom modern trilogy that's going on. I absolutely love the title, and I don't know. I wish they could make one just as good, but to me, they haven't. Eternal wasn't as good, and Dark Ages was worse than that. So to me, they're on a downward slope. Hopefully, with maybe the fourth game, they can pick back up. Moving on to moving on to 2017, the winner was The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. This is my first agree. I agree. This game had to win. The climate around this game was so palpable. It was so electric. Everybody was playing it. Everybody was talking about it. The internet was blowing up with people having discussions, and it was one of those times where people just sort of came together out of universal love for a game. Usually when a game comes out now, there's so much controversy. What's the DLC cost? Oh, it's not finished on release. Oh, this is just a beta. This is early access. No. Breath of the Wild was done on release. It ran flawlessly. Well, not flawlessly. It ran fine on the Switch. People could play it. They enjoyed it. They loved it. We couldn't get enough of it. We even looked beyond the flaws. We're like, yeah, the Switch might be a little underpowered, but we love this. This is great. This is fantastic. This is what we want the future of Zelda to be. And it just, I don't know, it just gives me the warm fuzzies just thinking about it. It was one of those truly unifying gaming moments, and those come around so rare that when they do, to me, they are deserving of Game of the Year. Now, 2018, the winner was God of War. So disagree. I completely disagree with this. I played God of War when it came out. I enjoyed it. It was fine. I preferred the older trilogy, the hack and slash, the craziness. I preferred that style. This little slower, story-driven. Okay, I can get into this. This is not too bad. But the clear winner was Red Dead Redemption 2. And the reason why I feel like that is because I had just said Breath of the Wild was such a unifying gaming moment. Red Dead 2 was like 4 times as big as that. I would be listening to a podcast and people that I didn't even knew played games were talking about Red Dead. Everybody was talking about this game. Like Zelda was great for the gaming community. Red Dead was great for the world. It was huge. And it's so funny because when even to this day, when I watch gaming content, people still cite Arthur Morgan as one of the best protagonists in video game history. I dare anybody to play that game from beginning to end and not cry at the end. It is so emotional. It is so gut-wrenching. It is a love letter to the American West, and it is one of the greatest video games ever made. And I cannot believe that God of War won over it. I don't get it. I thought this was a slam dunk. After I beat the game, I was like, oh, duh, this is winning Game of the Year. This is one of the best Rockstar games of all time. Like, how is this not going to win? And then, color me surprised when God of War took the trophy. I was like, okay, I guess. So then moving on to 2019, we have Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. This was a hard one for me because 2019 was also the release of Resident Evil 2, which to me, to this day, is one of the best remakes. Capcom, they know how to remake a game. They did it. They knocked it out of the park with Resident Evil on the GameCube. They knocked it out of the park again with RE2, the remake on PS4, and then most recently with Resident Evil 4. It's like these guys know how to remake games like crazy. But I do have to say, at least from my opinion, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is Game of the Year. It is the best game. I do love it. Now, I played this game when it first came out because of Bloodborne. I was waiting and anticipating what the next game was going to be. And I gotta be honest with you, when I first tried it, I didn't quite get it. This wasn't Bloodborne. This wasn't that same combat style. Like, what was this, parrying thing I was having to do? I was like, I don't know about this. This may not be for me. But I stuck with it. I stuck it out. And I even had a few friends that were also playing it. And we all kind of talked about it and figured it out. And eventually, when it clicked. And it clicked hard. And I really dove completely into it. I love it so much, actually, I've beaten it on my PlayStation account and on my Steam Deck. I'm trying to, I might do 100% completion on the Steam Deck eventually, but I really, really love this game. The boss battles are fantastic. And in retrospect now, it's hard for me to decide which one is better, Bloodborne or Sekiro. It's like, they're both just so great. I love them to pieces. I don't know. I can't really pick which one is better there. But as far as 2019 is concerned, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is deserving of Game of the Year. Now, 2020 was a really horrible year for a lot of obvious reasons that I don't need to explain to you because you're an intelligent person. But The Last of Us Part 2 was the winner of Game of the Year 2020. To me, absolutely not. Now, this is going to be highly controversial because there's a lot of political things attached to this. A lot of people love this game or they hate it based off of the politics surrounding it. If you hate it, maybe you're a right-wing crazy guy. If you love it, then you're a left-wing loony bin. I don't care about any of that. I just care about the gameplay. And I have a hot take about Naughty Dog as a developer. I don't like them. I've never really liked them. I can recognize the talent, but the gameplay for me has just never clicked. I have completed the original Last of Us, the first one, and it was fine. It was a great story, great acting, great cutscenes, but for me, the gameplay is just, it's a third-person action shooter, like follow the yellow tape. It's so linear. It's, I get what it's doing. I think that it's a very fine, like almost visual novel, but I don't consider it to have exceptional gameplay, which to me is the most important part of being game of the year. If this was like film of the year or best acting or best script or best cutscene or whatever, then it's like, oh, of course, Last of Us all the time. It's top tier for that all day long. But for me, okay, so this is gonna be tough. I have two for 2020 that I thought should have won. For me personally, as a guilty pleasure, not guilty pleasure, but just because I'm stupid, the winner should have been Animal Crossing. That was the game I played the most. To me, that encapsulates 2020. Being all locked into our house, going online, going to other people's towns, like being able to only interact through Animal Crossing. To me, that was game of the year. And I know a lot of people are screaming at me that, oh, it's for kids, it's for babies. Okay, fine. Animal Crossing isn't game of the year. Fine, I'll tell you that. Then what should have won, if not Animal Crossing, Ghost of Tsushima. Tsushima should have won, 100%, hands down. Like, I don't care. You can come for me all you want. And this isn't a thing against Sony because Tsushima at the time was exclusive to PlayStation. I think Ghost of Tsushima was a far superior title to Last of Us Part 2. I didn't even really finish Last of Us Part 2. I bought it on release day, ready, excited to play it, and I was just kind of like, oh, this is just kind of more of the same. Like, we're just continuing the story, but the gameplay is just kind of still the clunky thing with the people and the stuff. It's got really good rope physics for some reason, but I don't know. I just didn't grab me. I just was kind of bored, and I didn't really care about the characters. Spoiler alert, after Joel died, I was like, well, he was the guy that I was coming back for. I had no idea that he was going to be dead, and that was going to be it. Yeah, I just kind of was like uninterested. Nah, fine. I just think that there are better stories. There's better stuff going on. I don't know. I know that that's going to be controversial. I'm sorry. If I'm totally wrong, let me know in the comments below. But I personally think that Ghost of Tsushima or Animal Crossing were a better fit for Game of the Year 2020. As far as 2021 is concerned, the winner was It Takes Two, which was like a co-op husband and wife game, which I still have never really played. I've never really played it. It looks interesting, but I don't know. That just didn't really grab me. For me, the game of the year was Metroid Dread. Now, I understand that this is just apples and oranges. This is totally different. You really cannot compare those two, but I would have to say that Metroid Dread is my game of the year that year. It really was the first time I dove headfirst into a Metroid, and where the Metroid was brand new and it was fresh. I had gone back and played other Metroid titles, but those were so well known and all of this stuff on the internet, like they showed pictures of the boss fights. This was the first one that I was actually there for. On release, I played it when there was no spoilers online. I had no idea what was around every single corner, and exploring that place for myself completely fresh and sullied was beautiful. I loved it. It was such a great experience. And for me, that's why it is my Game of the Year 2021. Now, when it comes to Game of the Year 2022, the Game Awards saw fit to give that away to Elden Ring. Now, hold on. Hear me out here. I do agree it should have gone to Elden Ring. I already know what you're saying. You're saying, well, Logan, you're going to give it to Bloodborne, and you're going to give it to Sekiro, and you're going to give it to every single time FromSoft puts a piece of software out. They're just going to automatically win because it's FromSoft, and you just love Miyazaki, you want to marry him and kiss him in the bathtub. No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. Because When people were saying, like a couple years ago when the DLC, Shadow of the Erd Tree, was coming out, and people were saying, oh, Shadow of the Erd Tree, that's Game of the Year. I was like, no, Elden Ring already won Game of the Year. It's done. Move on. I don't care if this is great. Like, we need something fresh. It can't just be Elden Ring winning every single year. I don't like that. The only reason that I agree Elden Ring should have won is because it expanded what was already there. Like, for me, Bloodborne was the best combat that the Souls games had ever been. And to me, that's like old school Souls games, right? Like Dark Souls, Demon Souls, like Dark Souls 2 and 3, like Bloodborne. Those are all sort of in a category for me. And then Sekiro takes that formula and does its own combat style with it. So they're like cousins, right? They're not like brothers and sisters. They're like cousins. They're similar kind of, but they're still different enough. And then Elden Ring is like just the grandmaster giant culmination of like everything that FromSoft has ever learned. They're putting it all into this open world experience, and it's just going to be huge. And so it's like, wow. To me, that was why it should have won Game of the Year, because it was such a wow moment, and it was just so big and bombastic and huge and epic and gorgeous and other adjectives that, to me, yes, this is the third time in a row I think they should have won. But hey, man, they're on an upward trajectory. Like, they're just getting better and better. Like, how are they like topping themselves every single time? It's incredible. I don't think they're going to be able to do it again. I never played the multiplayer Elden Ring that came out. I don't know. After I beat Elden Ring, I platinumed it. I loved it. It was great. But I'm ready to move on. Like, let's move on from Elden Ring. I don't need any DLC. I don't need any more games. I want to see what's next. Like, can you give us another Bloodborne? The Dust Bloods that's coming out or whatever next year on the Switch too. Like, something new. Let's keep moving forward. Like, let's just not keep mining the Elden Ring cave here. Like, let's move on. Speaking of moving on, 2023 went to Baldur's Gate 3. I respect it. I respect it. I understand that Baldur's 3 is like one of the sacred cows of gaming, that you cannot like hate on this game. However, I've never played it. I'm sorry. I'm just not interested in it. I will say that it is on my Steam wish list, and every time it goes on sale, I look at the price. I'm waiting for the price to go down, like into the 30s or into the 20s. I don't want to buy it at the current price that it's at. But eventually I will get around to it, I promise, at some point, when it's cheaper. However, for 2023, oh boy, this is another one that's going to be tough to say because everyone's going to want to rip my face off and eat it. I personally think it should have gone to Pikmin 4. Pikmin 4 is my favorite game from that generation. It just clicks with me. I just love it. I understand how it's not for most people. I totally get it. But just for me personally, I would have given it to Pikmin 4. Now, if we are not going to give it to Pikmin 4, then it should have gone to Resident Evil 4, the remake. Not just because it's a fantastic remake of an already masterpiece game, but it is better than the original? Like, how is that possible? Like, when they first announced that, I was like, it'll be great, it'll be really, really good, but there's no way it'll be better. It'll just be sort of different. And now, I can't think of a reason to ever go back to the original Resident Evil 4. Like, it's so much less of a product now compared to the remake. And to me, that's the sign of an incredible team of people. Like, they took a game and they just perfected a masterpiece. Like, how do you do that, right? Like I said, this year's a tough year because I love and respect Baldur's Gate 3. I understand the principles of the team that made the game are very solid, and they are consumer first, which I love. But unfortunately, like I said, I haven't really played that title yet. I'm not that interested in it. And just from my perspective, it should have gone to one of the fours, being Resident Evil 4 or Pikmin 4. And then last but not least, we've got 2024, and the winner is Astrobot. Now, me personally, I think it should have gone to Mario and Luigi Brothership. Just kidding. I am just kidding. I'm kidding. It totally should have gone to Astrobot. I completely agree. This was one of those games where I loved Astro's Playroom that came with the PS5 for free. I just devoured that game. I platinumed it. It was fantastic. Like, it's really, really great. And when they announced that a full version of that is going to be coming to the PS5, I was there day and date. I had it ready to go, played it, and loved it. It's a beautiful game. It celebrates the history of PlayStation. It's got all of those things that you can collect. I don't want to spoil too much if you haven't played it. If you haven't played it and you got a PS5, what are you doing? Go play it now. Turn this off and go play Astrobot. It is fantastic. I love those games that are like just a celebration of whatever they're doing, right? Like Astrobot just celebrates the history of PlayStation, where they come from. They've got all those characters and those IPs, but then you can also collect all of the old consoles, and it's just like a nice warm blanket, and I just love it to death. It's just fantastic. I hope that team continues to make more games like this. Maybe they can even branch outside of the Astrobot IP. But I gotta tell you, I love what they're doing. I think they're such a talented group of people, and to be honest with you, they're kind of giving Nintendo a run for their money. They're killing it here. And now, for my 2025 Game of the Year. So here's how I think I'm going to do this. There's quite a few games in this year that I really enjoyed quite a bit, and I figured what I would do is just count down from 5, my top 5 games, and my number 1 game is going to be my Game of the Year. So starting off with number 5, we have Mario Kart World. Now, this is an extremely controversial title because on release, I mean, even myself, I really felt like it was not a finished game. We have had 2 major updates since then, which I'm thankful to say is really fixing a lot of the problems that I had with the title. But even with some of the lack of content, even with some of the issues that I've had with it, I've still played a whole lot of this game, and it's been a lot of fun. And I like playing it with other people. Like whenever my wife and I want to play a game together, this is what we're always throwing on. I even did a tournament at my work, and I was like, what do you guys want to play? Because I was thinking Smash Bros. Or something like that, and everybody wanted to play the new Mario Kart. We did that, and everybody had a lot of fun with it, and so even though there are cracks in the painting, it's still a lot of fun, I do have to admit, and that is why it is my number 5 game of 2025. Coming in at number 4, we have Donkey Kong Bonanza. Donkey Kong Bonanza was a huge surprise. When I started playing this title, I really loved almost everything about this game. Now, if I loved everything about it, why is it so low on this list? And I gotta be honest with you, something about this team, they always seem to sort of slow down in the latter half of the game. Like, you've got like your last 3 worlds before your final boss world, and the same way with Mario Odyssey, it just sort of dragged. After a while, like the first few worlds I was going to, I was like, wow, everything is so new and beautiful. Look at all this, and it's just gorgeous, and I'm just like in awe. But in those last like 3 worlds, I'm kind of like, okay, can we get to the end now? Like everything's starting to look kind of the same. Like I said, around that 70% mark, it really starts to dip. And I just wish that it would have sustained, that momentum the whole way through. Had it really looked fresh and new and awesome every single time, I would have probably loved it a lot more. Not saying it's a bad game by any means. I've gone back and played it a ton. That gameplay loop is fantastic. But if I'm being honest with myself, there's a few worlds that I never want to go back to. And that is why Donkey Kong Bonanza is my number 4 for 2025. Coming in at number 3, we have Hollow Knight Silk Song. Now, Silk Song was a huge surprise for me. I have never played the original Hollow Knight. I had never really heard of Team Cherry. These guys were totally brand new to me, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give that a try. Like, everyone's hyping this up. Everybody loves this. Let's see what this is all about. And it is fantastic. It is very, very good. Now, I will say, I have not yet finished this title. I have not beaten it yet because I don't have the time this year to devote to games as I have in past years. That's probably why this list might be, I don't know, I don't want to say boring, but it's just, you're not going to see a lot of diversity on this list because I haven't been able to play as much this year as I would like to. And in previous years, when I've played Sekiro, when I've played Elden Ring, I was able to just put hours and hours into those titles. This year, I'm running my own business. I've got a family. I've got a lot going on. I need more casual games at this time of my life, But even though I did not finish this title, I fully intend to go back. It's a beautiful game. I love the art style. I love the characters. I love the music. I love everything about this. The only thing that I don't like is that I wish I had more time to play it. And probably my biggest critique, and I've heard other people say this too, I'm not a big fan of the fact that they give you 5 health bars, 5 masks at the beginning of the title. But like enemies, when they hit you, they take 2. It's like, why don't you just give me 3 health bars then? I don't know. Like I said, I'm fully willing to admit this is a skill. This is a difficulty issue. This is my fault. But like I said, I can't give Game of the Year to a title that I haven't beaten and that I just wasn't able to fully enjoy. But I still want to recognize that this is an incredible title and I absolutely love it. But I'm just going to have to come back to this in a couple years when life slows down. And that is why Hollow Knight Silksong is number 3 for 2025. Number 2, Metroid Prime 4. Now, put your pitchforks down. I understand the controversies behind this game. However, I love the gameplay. At the end of the day, people can complain about whatever they want. I don't like the Miles McKenzie character. I don't like the people talking to Samus. I don't like how linear it is, or I don't like the this or the that. The gameplay for me is the only reason why I give a title the ranking that I give it. And I gotta tell you, I had so much fun with this game. It is fantastic. I love the puzzles. I love the character designs. I didn't mind the Talking Federation people as much as I thought I was going to. I think that was really blown out of proportion. Yes, it's kind of annoying, but you don't see them that much, The one that stuck out the most to me was like the fire dungeon. That was really the one where I was like, oh, I'm seeing these people quite a bit here. But overall, I love Metroid. I love Metroid Prime. I really hope 2 and 3 get ported to the system as well, whether those are remastered or just straight ports. I don't really care. I just want to play all of them now. I love this formula. I think that it's super fascinating. I do see some of the flaws. There are some things about this that I would have liked to have seen tweaked or changed. And I will say just right off the bat, I have all of the amiibos and I've scanned all of them, and there's still no music in that desert overworld. So I don't know what they're talking about with the unlocking the music thing. I don't know what that's all about. That controversy seems like that might, I don't know. I could be wrong about this, but that seems made up to me because like I said, I've scanned my 3 amiibo and they're like, oh, we'll unlock everything, later when you get later into the game. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I just was playing and playing. I'm like, I'm not hearing any music. So I was like, what the hell's going on here? This is really strange. Anyway, there are some weird problems here. This is not a flawless title, in my opinion. There's very, very rare flawless titles. And that is why Metroid Prime 4 is my number 2 for 2025. And finally, my game of the year for 2025 is Kirby Air Riders. This has taken me completely by surprise. This was one of my least anticipated titles for the Switch 2, and it has become my favorite game. It's incredible. I will put other games in and I'll play something for a little while, and then I'll just, I kind of want to get back to Kirby Air Riders. I kind of want to unlock more stuff. I want to do more of the checklist. I want to go check out, the different modes. That's the thing that's most amazing about it to me, is that I love all of the modes. I mean, starting off with just the air ride mode, that mode is extremely fun. I love digging into it and figuring out the different racing mechanics for all of the different carts and oh, this cart does this and this cart does that, and it's so cool. The top down or the top ride mode is also really fun. I know that it's kind of a throwaway thing and most people don't really care for it, but I like it. It reminds me of that little Street pass minigame from Smash Bros. On the 3DS, which I loved. So that's cool that that's like a mode in this game. And of course, how do you not love City Trial? City Trial is just cranked up to 11 in this title. It's so crazy. There's so much going on. All of the power-ups to get, all of like the boss battles and like events that happen while you're playing it. I don't really like online titles, but I've been playing Kirby Air Riders online. Like I started out just kind of playing City Trial by myself, and I was like, you know what? There's an online event going on right now. I'm going to check that out. I'm going to see what's going on with that. And before I knew it, I was just enjoying playing online. And I was like, what is this? What is this game done to me? Like, I'm playing every mode this game has to offer. Like, and besides just the regular modes to play, there's like little mini things to do, like the little gummy mini games and the little things to collect. You can go on the shop and like make your own like cart or machine, and then you can like sell it, and you could buy other people's carts and machines. And it's like, dude, there is just too much to do in this title. Sakurai is just so generous with the content. He really just gives every game everything he's got. Such a talented group of people that have worked on this title. I really cannot believe how perfect this game is. I absolutely love it. I cannot wait to play it with more people. Like, I want to play this like in a room with people. Like, I'm definitely taking this home for Christmas, and I'm going to hook this up and play this with some people like on split screen, because I feel like that's going to be so much fun. And that is why Kirby Air Riders for the Nintendo Switch 2 is my game of the year for 2025. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you for sticking around, listening to my favorite games from past years as well as this year for 2025. Leave a comment below. Let me know what some of your favorite games are. And as always, and especially into the new year, take care of each other out there.